Coach Prime, Shedeur, and Travis Hunter all graced the cover of Sports Illustrated in a historic moment. We're going to talk about it, what it means, not just for JSU, but for all HBCUs moving forward after the bumper. What is good, good people? What is good, good people? My name is JeffLightsyJr here with the Black Boss channel and Victory Formation. Thank you guys for tuning in. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe, and notification bell because we upload every single day. Coach Prime, Jackson State, Travis Hunter, Shedeur Sanders, all grace the cover of the Sports Illustrated hard copy and the digital copy. The digital copy is out now. I think the hard copy comes out June 16th. Let's just take a look at it. Let's take a look at this historic cover. As you see, it says Primed. The cover story was written by Jean-Jacques Taylor, a good friend of Coach Prime. He covered, Deion back when he was with the Dallas Cowboys. You got Travis, 5-star, consensus #1 overall player in the country out of high school. You got Shedeur, QB1, big leader, L on his chest. This is a leader, starting quarterback at JSU going into his sophomore season. And this is a long, but really well-written story about what Coach Prime is doing at Jackson State, what he's been able to do since he's arrived in only one full season, one full fall season, bringing his Hall of Fame talent, not just Hall of Fame talent, Hall of Fame coaching, but Hall of Fame marketing. Yes, marketing, because you don't get covers of Sports Illustrated without great performance on the field and great marketing skills, being a legend, being an icon. See, that's the thing, Jackson State. Obviously, we've said this on numerous occasions, but they have an icon as a head coach. And so being able to translate that from icon status as a mass marketer, as a football player, as a motivator, as just a human being, to now being a Hall of Famer as a coach at the historically Black college level in the SWAC, one of the oldest conferences in the country. This is what you get. And this is how you attract 5-star, #1 overall players in the country. And so we're talking about the Sports Illustrated cover. It's got a lot of people excited because it shows and showcases a couple of things. Let me make sure that's big. It shows and showcases a couple of things. One, it further dispels the rumor that Travis would not get the exposure that he deserved at a historically Black college and university at Jackson State. You get the cover of Sports Illustrated. Your highlights from the spring game were one of the most circulated things in the country. I don't think anyone else's highlights around the world in college football got circulated more than Travis Hunter's at JSU spring game. Not only just with ESPN there, but just circulating throughout social media. Your coach is Deion Sanders. So you're always going to have cameras around, not just from ESPN or, Fox or whoever, but from him, from Barstool, from his son, Deion Sanders Jr., who's the social media manager at JSU. You're always going to have cameras around in that aspect. And so it dispels this whole I won't get exposure. We live in a day and age of social media. See, you used to be able, when Prime was playing, you used to only be able to get your sports coverage from a few sources. ESPN. That's about it. Sports Illustrated. You get what I'm saying? Sports Illustrated, ESPN, just a few things here and there. And then you got the internet that brought in different waves and different blogs and different things. And now you have social media. So now you can access this cover, this article, these pictures, whether it's from Sports Illustrated directly, whether it's from Coach Prime, whether it's from YouTubers like myself or Twitter accounts, et cetera, all around the world. So the exposure thing was always so dumb to me. It was so minuscule to me. It never made any sense. And when it comes to the games, for the games that won't be aired on ESPN, there will be some form of access with streaming because of the rise of streaming. You will be able to catch Travis Hunter play whoever you are, wherever you are. And so this continues to dispel, pat that rumor out and get that up out the paint. Secondly, it once again brings JSU, not just in an exposure aspect, but brings JSU to the forefront of college football. Now, I don't subscribe to Sports Illustrated. I don't know every single cover that they have. And I don't know who they've had on their covers throughout this throughout this year, but it is June. And to have Coach Prime, Shedeur, Travis on the cover of Sports Illustrated previewing ahead of the college football season that doesn't start until September. Now, I don't know if they've had any other college football players, any Nick Sabans, any Jimbo Fishers, any, Dabo Sweeney's, Ryan Days, Brian Kelly's. I don't know if they had any of these guys on Sports Illustrated in 2022, this year, ahead of the college football season. I don't know. But the chances are they haven't had many. The chances are they haven't had many. If they've had any of them in 2022 so far, we're in June. Now, come September, I imagine they'll have a couple of them. Now, come September, I'll imagine they have somebody, right? Now, come national championship, during the championship bowl season, December, January, I imagine they'll have somebody. But we're talking about June. We're talking about in the middle of the NBA Finals. They choose to have not just a college football coach and two of his players, but they choose to have a college football coach from the SWAC, the head college football coach of an HBCU, the head college football coach of Jackson State University, with the big block JSU on his chest, the big block J on his hat, with the Tigers to his right, your left on the screen, and the Jackson State to his left, your right on the screen. This is special, man. I think this is special. I think this continues to show the word. It continues to show the change that's taking place across the HBCU football. Something that we continue to say, something that we've continued to advocate for. I don't know. I'm really happy about this. I'm really proud about it because, and you see the level of recruiting go up. You've seen the residual effect of things like this, not just the Jackson State. Obviously, things like this happening at Jackson State is how you land a guy like Travis Hunter. But you've seen the residual effect for things like this across the SWAC. I've had high-level players on here that are going to other schools not named Jackson State, most notably Grambling. You guys see what Grambling's doing? You guys see what the G-men are doing? Ryan Pepins, he was Mr. Football in the state of Alabama, had Power 5 offers across the country. Originally was going to Utah in the Pac-12 from Alabama. You know how good you got to be to get Pac-12 offers in the state of Alabama at 5'8", at 165 pounds? Yeah, he's like that. He's a dynamo. He is dynamic. And instead of going Power 5 or staying Power 5 or whatever, he decides he wants to take his talents to Grambling. And he wants to be for Grambling what Travis Hunter is being for Jackson State, what Coach Prime and Shedeur Sanders and his players that he's brought in for Jackson State. And he won't do it alone because there's some other ballers at Grambling. There's some other ballers at Alabama A&M. There's some other ballers at FAMU. There's some other ballers at Alabama State. There's some other ballers at Prairie View. There's some other ballers at Southern. You get what I'm saying? Everyone is getting the residual effect of things like this. It's not just JSU. That's what makes it so special. That's what makes the time that we're living in. Because here's the thing. What the HBCU landscape will look like in 10 years, we don't know. But what I can assume and the way the trajectory is going is that it will look completely different than it does today. And so you will remember times like this, significant moments like this, like the time JSU got the cover of Sports Illustrated, like the time South Carolina State beat JSU in the Celebration Bowl when they were the overwhelming favorites. And so 10 years from now, when historically Black colleges and universities sports programs look completely different, when they are revitalized with an influx of resources, you will remember moments like this as the timestamps, the building points, the pillars, the significant moments went in the direction of helping historically Black colleges and universities progress in a manner that we haven't seen in a long time. So when there's more HBCU players drafted into the NFL, or more HBCU programs getting millions and millions of dollars in resources and fundings, in the way that they look 10 years from now, as opposed to 2022, let's talk about 2032, you will remember moments like this and say, hey, those were the moments that kind of led us into the right direction. Those were the moment that we pivoted from here to here. And that's great to see. Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. Once again, my name is JeffLightsyJr with the Black Boss channel and Victory Formation. You can subscribe to the channel. We're up over 45,000 subscribers on the Black Boss channel. Also, subscribe to my YouTube channel, JeffLightsYJr. And you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at JLightsy7. That is Instagram and Twitter at JLightsy7. Thank you guys for tuning in. I will see you next time. Peace.